Welcome to What's Your Skroove, where we tell stories, share experiences, and get inside the minds of artists, athletes, creators, and musicians. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 10 of What's Your Skroove. Today we have accomplished photographer Zach Hagy. This guy has put out some massive content. He's got a very big following. He's actually was featured in one of the early episodes of 60 Seconds of Skroove. I think it was 64.
Yes.
And we're happy to be in this little studio here. So welcome, Zach.
Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on the show.
So this will be a special edition too, because Zach had some Q&A sent in by his audience ahead of time. So you guys are going to get to hear a little bit about what they have to say and a little bit about in depth on Zach's story. So it'll be a good time.
Let's dive into it. So I think first things first, how'd you get started in photography?
So I guess like photography and the creative industry altogether was when I first started snowboarding and skateboarding. I used to have like my dad's old like Canon GL2, like all shot on film, you know, and we'd go to the skate parks and the snowboarding hills and like just it was like no competition to like what it is now. It was no like standard what you have to meet or like you have to be at this level with this quality. It was total just like let's fucking film with our friends.
Yeah.
Am I okay to swear?
Oh yeah. Free range,
Be
man.
yourself.
But yeah, and I started doing that like 5 or 6 years ago, and that was like the coolest thing ever.
Just go skate with the homies.
Yeah, and mainly like in high school. Have you guys ever heard of Hawk Island? It was like this old snowboard park out in Lansing, but that's like where it kind of all started.
Right.
And it wasn't really because I was like interested in it. It was just because it was the thing to do. Like you snowboard, like you want to make like a recap video, like what you did. But so that was like the kind of start of me like picking up an actual camera.
So you're like 15 then?
15 or 16, yeah, totally. And then it was kind of like that for a few years, and 2015 or 16, I graduated 2014. So
from where?
Lansing Christian.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2015, I'd say. I bought like a Canon Rebel T3i.
Yeah. Like everybody's first camera.
Yeah. We have our T5i over there.
Yeah. I may have been T5i. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you.
But and GoPro, dude. I was huge in it. I forgot about all this stuff now that I'm like revisiting it.
First cameras, man.
Yeah. But I was so like into like the saturation GoPro kind of theme style. We went on this one trip in West Virginia, I remember, and I like this homemade GoPro pole, like longboarding. But the
old Home Depot trip to get the PVC down.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Because the stick was like $100.
Yeah.
Screw that. Gotta go make my own.
Yeah, put some stickers and stuff on it. But so yeah, that was my first time experiencing really like with like there was a skateboarding, snowboarding, and then there was like I bought the camera and the GoPro, and I was actually like trying to get shots and like especially for Instagram. Then I was like I was trying to like please whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that's an important like transition in any, like you said, like I think that's the way a lot of people get started was they just want to record your action sports with a GoPro, and then you go from putting the camera on to riding to what can I do to get real like attractive shots? Like that's like a huge pivot point I think for a lot of people. So it's interesting to hear.
Yeah, and like like actually thinking about framing and stuff. Where it was like a little bit more difficult because when you're snowboarding, it's like, oh, I'm just trying to get this cool shot of the trick. But so yeah, that I like did a trip out to Colorado, then brought all this GoPro and stuff. Then like used to be really still like the outdoors a lot, obviously, but was like really into hiking and stuff then. And then let's see. Like,
when do you think that was? Like 2016?
2015. 2015 probably.
So you took a trip out to Colorado just with friends or what?
Yeah,
or to get content?
I used to take trips out to Colorado like once a year.
Okay.
You drive or fly?
Fly, because plane tickets are super cheap.
Yeah.
Spirit, because Spirit owns both airlines, so hidden gem. But
so were they trips just for fun, or like to go out and get content, or what?
No, they were just for fun.
Yeah,
hiking. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely like as a photographer, even like as a creative, like when you go to a cool place, there's in the back of your head is you know, I'm gonna either bring cool outfits or
Right.
you know, meet up with some cool, interesting people to get photos. But that was definitely not like the
mission.
Yeah. But yeah, and then 2018 right now? 2016, I met this kid, Carson, and me and him became like best friends. And it was like over photography. And he had the Canon 60, and we went out to Grand Rapids one day. He invited me out. He's like, yo, like, you want to come out? I'm like, sure. And he had this camera, and he was like shooting with the model, and I was like, this is crazy. You know, like that. And it was like, I learned now that it's so much more than a camera, but at then I was like so saturated and like on the camera, I was like, I need this camera. So I ended up buying the camera, but and it's still one of my favorite cameras.
For Canon 60.
Yeah, for the price. Oof. But yeah, I like, man, after I got that camera, like everything I thought about was, and it was when I first started shooting, it was like very lifestyle-y, trendy models, like PNW, and I still like, I don't know. I like go, whatever. Maybe later we can get into that.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, and it was awesome. Like I loved meeting new people. You know, you want to shoot and meet up? Yeah. And it was totally for fun then, like just a hobby. I was working 9 to 5 for my dad as an electrician.
Okay.
So I would mainly like do this on the weekends and when I had days off. You know, but it was like my favorite thing to do. You know, when you like try a new sport, you learn skateboarding for the first time or anything, it's like everything you think about is that. Yeah, tunnel vision.
Do you remember like how much the camera was at the time?
It was like $1,000.
Right. So do you think when you made that purchase that it like kind of really committed you to like, you know, oh, I spent the money and now justify it, or was it just kind of moving forward?
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Like, I mean, even any big purchase you buy in life, like 5 years ago when I bought a PS3, you know, like, as sad it is, but you like,
I gotta make this investment worth it.
yeah, literally, you know. Yeah. But I think that's just us as humans, like, and our attention span is like, buy this, we pay attention to it for a few months.
True.
Yeah, sure.
But
so you're doing it on the weekends, just having fun with it, meeting up with people.
Yeah, it was
connecting through Instagram with different people.
Yeah,
or what?
everything was like that's all I like knew how to brand myself really, and at that time like. I would say, like, right when I started, and even, like, obviously before, but right when I started, like, the whole Michigan, like, photography thing started, like, blowing up. Like, everyone was, like, modeling and doing photography, you know, and it was a pretty cool thing, like, just to see this community kind of grow from nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was, like, photography present, and there will always be.
Right.
But I guess as, like, a young millennial, I would say.
Yeah, I think social media really kick-started that.
Yeah.
You know, if you could have a leg up on, you know, getting some cool shots to build your following, if, you know, you put real work into it and did post-production and not just snap it on your phone and put a filter on, I think that probably fueled that process for a lot of people.
And I feel like a lot of people in Michigan that are around our age started younger, obviously, on Instagram and have grown, obviously, their followings. And a lot of the same people work together and, like, models and photographers. So it is cool to see that sort of community grow around Michigan because, there's obviously a lot to do and a lot of cool things to shoot in Michigan, from, like, Grand Rapids to Detroit to the UP.
Traverse City area. Just beautiful, It
was just a really cool way to, like, connect with like-minded people. That was just the community that I was in, so obviously... I veered towards that, and you know, people listening here will find this interesting because it's the same type of niche and community.
So like,
cool.
Obviously, you're self-taught.
Yeah.
So like, you were just out trial and error and like Googling, YouTubing. Like, how did you learn like how to shoot and like Lightroom, Photoshop, all that stuff?
For a while, it was like specifically Visco.
Okay.
You guys know Visco, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so it was. Like, I'd shoot, put the photos on, I'd shoot JPEGs only, put the photos on my computer, send them over to my phone, and then edit on Visco. I didn't even, like, know about Lightroom then.
Really?
Yeah. And, like, I don't think most people do, when they start.
Right.
But, yeah, just Visco, and that was, like, the style of this kind of faded look of, like, crushed blacks. But, yeah, and then I would, like... text people their photos, you know, but I wasn't even get paid for anything,
right?
So it's not like a big deal, you know. But I would like text people their photos, like, here you go, 25 photos for a text.
Yeah.
And
10 cents a text. No, not that era.
Yeah.
Airdropping them from your Mac, because dude, that's like the most beautiful thing.
Yeah,
airdrop right to your iPhone.
Yeah, I never realized until we really did editing that is like
it keeps the best quality too.
Yeah.
I always do that. I mean, that's a hidden gem too if you guys don't know about it.
Yeah,
AirDrop is whew.
And you don't have to worry about like Google Drive storage, like when you say if you can just open your Mac.
That's what people with like Androids are like, oh, how do you get your videos on Instagram? How do you do that? I'm like, dude, airdrop it right to my phone, upload it right through
Apple,
Instagram,
man.
dude. It's the best.
I tweeted once. I was like, I find a lot of stuff I say funny, but I guess this isn't that funny. But I was like, something the reason to stick with Apple. It was like a poll, AirDrop.
Yeah,
3 options. So.
Dude. We love Apple. It's like a creator's just paradise.
Yeah.
Apple products are.
Yeah.
We truly believe that. We're huge Apple backers.
Yeah.
So when did you start like professionally, I guess, your first gig, and like when did you stop working with your dad and start taking photography seriously? And what like led to that? How did you make that jump?
Yeah.
So I still worked for my dad throughout like the first year of my career, I guess.
Was this like the first year after high school then?
No. So, oh man, it's not that long time. It's not that long ago. I didn't go to college, so it's like. So I graduated in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
2016 is when I would say I had the mindset of like really investing my time and life into like photography. But even before that, it was like more of a hobby. But 2016 is when I was like, I don't have no idea how I am gonna do this, but I really want to. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was still working for my dad then. It was like when I got my first job, I didn't even know what to do, and it was like for that first year it was like only portrait stuff. Actually, yeah, mainly portrait stuff. I'd be like, give me $75 and we'll shoot for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like stoked.
Yeah. $75 get paid
to take photos.
Yeah, exactly.
But the first time someone was like, you know, what are your rates? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've never had this conversation.
Is that always
before.
interesting? Like,
yeah.
Because just throughout, like, business and life, you have to, what is this worth? You
know
what I mean?
Yeah.
And as you grow, those change. That's just in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you determine what you're going to charge?
I definitely asked around, and some people said like ridiculous numbers at the time, where I was like, how do you even like
justify
that?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think $75 is like what I said for like 2 hours of shooting, and
which is fair.
Yeah, they were getting a good deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, for my, I guess, skill, at the time it was probably like,
it was a win-win.
Yeah.
And then you got to build your portfolio as well as this young photographer.
Yeah. So I did lots of portrait stuff to begin with, most of the time not paid. Every once in a while I get paid. It was really when I went to Electric Forest in 2016. I met this kid, and we were like slacklining, and I used to kind of be like, I used to have way more of an ego than I do now.
Okay.
And I don't know why. It was, I don't know. But
it's part of life.
Yeah, you're young.
Find yourself.
You're young.
Yeah.
You think you're the shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you're really not.
Yeah. Life is humbling.
Yeah. But I was like slacklining, like, showing off to everyone. And this kid came up, and he was like obviously better than me. And he like hopped on, and we were like slacklining for a little bit. And it was one of my friend, but I talked to him for a little bit, and nothing really happened after that. And then, I don't know, months later, he invited me over to slackline again in Lansing. And this is like when I was a little bit further in my career in photography, and we were slacklining, and then he tells me what he does, and I'm like, what? Like, this is sick. And he like owned this production company. At that time, they were based in Lansing, but they were like shooting high-end commercials. They had like 10 people on a job and doing lighting and this and like different audio, and it was like, I was like, I didn't know you need a team to do this, which makes more sense, right? But that was like probably the biggest changing point, where once I met him, he showed me kind of, this is like after, you know, I was doing portrait stuff, say 5 months. So I was like obviously better in my photography.
This is a pivotal kind of moment though.
Yeah.
But you were getting gigs though, right? Too.
Yeah. I was getting like smaller gigs, but when I met him, he was like, you know, I basically like, I believe in you. One thing, because if the people doing Q&As are listening, this is one thing I'll say right now before I forget. If you're doing, you know, photography and you want to do it full time and you're not going to school, one thing he told me that like stuck so hard was you need to be putting in the hours and like studying photography or filmmaking or graphic design or whatever you do, the amount is that you would be putting in for school. Because you're not going to college, so you have to make it up for learning on your own or experimenting, you know. And that was like huge because I was like, damn, you're right, you know, because I'm not being taught it, so I got to learn some way. But
and I think that's great advice too.
Yeah,
it's like people like you definitely don't need college to pursue, you know. There's no point in going in debt to like become a professional photographer, videographer, or whatever it may be. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like if you want to take it seriously, you have to take it seriously.
Don't use that as a an excuse. Like, oh, I don't have to go to college for this, but that doesn't negate the necessary
hard work.
You know, having the chops, putting the hours in. And just to touch on too what you said, you saw the production value for these high-end commercials, like with these 10 people. Something that is super interesting on that point too is the amount of high quality content that can be produced by like a 2-man crew or a 1-man crew is just so insane nowadays too. On that same note, like it's so wild. Weird. It's like you can just see the stuff that people do like by themselves, and it just blows your mind. Like, and it's not even all equipment. It's just like having that pure creative mind and putting in all the different hours and aspects to work and consuming a lot of other people's content. Like, it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. Just interesting.
All art is stolen art.
That's right.
So did you get involved with this production company or what?
Yeah, so at that time they were shooting a bunch of GM commercials, and I had no idea like, you know, how big like the stuff they were shooting or how big the brands they were shooting stuff for, but he was like actually it was a Big commercial. The first one, he was like, I think the first one I got paid for, where I don't know, somehow he got me the job to do like I went actually on one time they were shooting, I did some like BTS photos. I took like 5 mainly to like hang out because me and him were like becoming really good friends. And he was like, you know, he knew that I was like beginning. He was like, hey, come out to one of our sets, just shoot some BTS stuff if you want, like this is pretty cool stuff, you know. But he mainly said like watch and learn and see how, you know, like angles, lighting stuff. But
BTS is behind the scenes for all you non-content creators.
Sorry. No, you're fine.
Interject.
But so yeah, I took some BTS photos. It was like in Saginaw, and I sent them to him. And I'm like, oh, these are pretty cool, you know. And then he used those photos to send it to the clients for Big B, and they were like, oh yeah, like we'll bring this kid on set for some product stuff and behind the scenes stuff, photography. And it's like a really, oh man, this was like my worst experience too. I was such a rookie, dude. I actually like fell asleep on set.
No shit.
Yeah. And, you know, like they're paying me to like.
Was it the first one or after the?
No, this is the Big B one.
Okay.
This is the first one where I'm getting like paid, and you know people are watching me, and I literally
no coffee on set, huh? The Big B shoot. No.
I didn't even think I liked coffee at that point, but dude, yeah, I literally fell asleep.
How did you fall asleep on set?
I mean, okay, sometimes like, so I'm not like, you know, a DP or like someone who needs to be like do this all the time. Yeah. And at that point, like now I'm really comfortable with those guys and it's like super fun and, you know, we're shooting stuff. But at that point it was like, I don't know anyone, you know, I'm like kind of this kid, you know, and I took my photos and they would sometimes take like an hour to set up a different shot, you know, because you set up an hour, get this whole dolly rig set up and for a 2-minute shot, but in that hour of setting up, you know, they don't need me, so I didn't like purposely like go to a couch and like get a pillow and like snooze. Like I fell asleep at like one of the Big B desks.
Oh my god!
But yeah, and
that's funny.
He like comes over and he's like, like half by laughing and half by like, you idiot, like, what are you doing? You know.
We appreciate your honesty because I don't think everybody would have admitted to that. Hey man, it happens.
It's funny.
It is funny.
You gotta laugh.
Yeah.
So were you taking behind the scenes photos then, or were you actually taking like product shots or promotional material that they were using in that shoot?
I was taking, so anytime I go on set with these guys, I always get them BTS stuff because it's like easy and I like them a lot. And, you know, I would not be here without Eightfold. This is not a paid promotion.
An honest plug.
Yeah. But yeah, that time I had like a shot list to do, and the shots came out pretty good. I definitely would have done better now, but the shots were
adequate.
Yeah, for where I was at,
got the
life,
job done.
But
Absolutely.
it was cool. Yeah, and at that point in my career, like not even a year into, I mean, if you want to think back, like sure, I've been shooting since I was like 15 or whatever, but
taking it seriously.
Yeah, you know, taking it seriously. It was like maybe a year or less when I like really started having like Big B under my portportfolio was crazy.
Huge.
You know, life's crazy. You know, I met this kid at Electric Forest and slacklined with him, and now he's like one of my best friends and gets me a lot of jobs. So. Yeah.
That's what we talk about is like if you want something bad enough in life, you just have to go do it. You know, you put in the hours and like serendipity will happen. Like you will just be out at a festival or out at the bar or out going for a run in the park, and you'll meet somebody that was just not even planned, and they come into your life or things happen in your life that line up to help you, you know, continue to pursue your passion, which is super cool.
And you have to leave room for that, like, you know, leave room for serendipity. And I mean, look what happened. Like you were out at the festival having a good time, and it landed you maybe the most important relationship of your life this far.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Just a unique perspective to be, whoa, you know, this is what this got me. And like, you weren't even doing it for a year, and you had a pretty awesome gig lined up. Yeah. So how long did you work there for?
For Eightfold?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's contract. It's not like a full-time job. So whenever they would get like mainly larger budget jobs, and you know, Nick would always, you know, send out my portfolio and say, we offer this photography, like if you want it, you know, whatever the rates. But so they had this one client, through General Motors, like a 9-part series or something. And I worked like every single one of those. So that was, I guess, I don't know, whenever they had that, I definitely worked them. I don't know if that made any sense.
Yeah. So then while you're doing that, your portfolio is obviously growing. Are you getting more gigs on your own, like freelance work or what?
I'm trying to think back at that time. Oh, at that time I was like, you know, I was reaching out to a lot of brands. Okay. And
bigger brands, or more local stuff?
Local. Actually, have you guys heard of The Oddest? They're a brand out in Grand Rapids. They're like the first clothing company I shot for.
Okay.
I like bought one of their hats and just took a photo. And then like me and him are like super good friends now, and which also goes to show. Actually, you guys listen to Peter McKinnon?
Yeah.
He's super rad. But the coffee company that he has his coffee through, he like did some photos for them for free, and finally like they, you know, reached out, and now they're like really good friends. Yeah. That's something I've learned. Like a lot of people will try and, you know, get paid for like right off the bat, you know, and like it doesn't like burn a bridge, but I don't know, I wouldn't even say that. It like,
but you're also putting a value on your services, which is important too. Yeah. Because then, you know, no matter what happens, you know, you're up front, and I think that there is a certain mutual respect about that. You know what I mean? Which I think is important. Yeah. So,
but I would say like if you believe in a brand, it's totally like okay. If I believe in a brand and really like them, I'll like go out of my way and spend my time and energy to get photos for them. You know, because essentially like I want to, you know, become or like work with them, and I want to like become part of their family and stuff, you know.
And everything comes full circle. We believe that.
Yeah, if you put your time and effort into something, like eventually it'll come back around, whether it's through that brand or another brand. Like people will recognize then your work and stuff. So that
was a little side rant, but
I think that's important. And so you're we're talking about how you're doing these like the GM series, and the 9-part series, and you're doing these side gigs. Because obviously there's more going on these big sets, you know, a lot of moving parts. Would you say what played a bigger role in developing your skills? These side gigs where it was probably only you shooting, or did you learn a lot being on these big sets with all these people? What was more, or how did they influence you differently, I guess?
So, like the side gigs for brands and stuff, you know, that was never, like, most of the time I wouldn't get money. It was just like a cool brand that I wanted their clothes.
Right.
So I was like, hey, I'll trade you some for that.
Yeah.
So really at this time, the production company, they were the only one, they were really my source of income. The other stuff I wouldn't say, like, and I'm still working a full-time job.
I was just kidding.
Yeah, that was the other question.
So yeah, I wasn't even comfortable, you know, with stepping out because 9 times a year, you know, that's not enough money to whatever.
Yep.
And then $75 a shoot is
not enough.
There's my gas and food or whatever.
A burger.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, but yeah, like the brand stuff, you know, I really got to be more creative, and since it wasn't paid, there was no pressure. You know,
That's interesting.
Yeah. So there was like, you know, if you complain with what I gave you, then who cares?
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
You could get wacky and kind of get real creative. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like fun because I could be creative and see. In a sense, I never really thought about it like this until like in the future, but in a sense, it was like, you know, I could kind of test the waters without doing something wrong. You know, because it's like I could try this and try that, and if they were like, whatever, you know, it's not like they would, who knows if they would even use the photos to begin with.
Right.
So that like played a bigger role than I even imagined now, because I now know like what people like and what they don't.
Right.
But yeah, the production company, like, dude, it's crazy. I mean, some sets will be like in a studio and it's just like simple lighting, but some there's like full dolly rigs.
Yeah.
There's like rig cars, you know, with like these huge rigs on them with the camera and stuff.
Like the rail, like to get like smooth shots.
Yeah. Like we have one coming up that's gonna be super sick.
Really?
Yeah.
Will we be able to see any behind the scenes photos of that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. Stay tuned, guys.
I think it's coming in like end of February actually.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, and you know, there's like, it's really cool being on set with a big production company because you really get to see that, like, there's one guy that will hold and move the camera. One guy that's like can be, you know, 50 feet away pulling focus. One guy that's you know, could be doing lighting and, you know, obviously a talent and makeup, and it's all these crazy different talents and creatives coming together to do one thing.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen that side of like the production world, the creative world. So
ours is pretty raw.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like you literally, like the guy that shoots the camera does not focus it. It's
No.
like a separate person to actually focus it. Yeah, and then like if you're on a dolly, you know, there's someone else lifting the dolly and lowering it. So it's a really cool like team effort thing, and I've never experienced that. You know, like when I first started and kind of going into my career, it was all like, oh, I can do this by myself. You know, and it was a little bit. It was definitely like difficult to comprehend.
Yeah.
Just because. Even like asking for advice on set or like, can you help me with this, just didn't like calculate with me quickly. Just because I never needed to, you know. But yeah, that the production side of thing is really, really cool. And like the professionalism is insane, you know, like that's because I didn't go to school. That played a huge part in like the business aspect and how to communicate with people more on a professional business commercial side.
I bet.
Oh, let's reset these cameras real quick.
Real quick. We'll stay on the air or what?
We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Cameras are reset, and
commercial break brought to you by Dawn Patrol Coffee by
Coffee
Skroove.
by Skroove. Get yours today. No.
which we fired up in the Keurig before we came on.
That's right. And then we accidentally deleted the footage, so.
Oops.
You wouldn't get that on a professional set.
That's what you get dealing with us, Zach.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, we covered like how you got started with photography. I really like your creative just on your Instagram profile. It's very unique. I haven't really came across anything like it before. So, like, what is your inspiration? Where did that come from? Like, is that something that you just kind of made up? Is it a combination of things? Is there a name for it? Is that even a type of photography or what?
Well, yeah. Okay. Switching gears.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You know, I don't know if any of you know, or most of you probably do, but I came out with a brand called Something Different. And that Something Different has been in my bio for like ever since I started. And like that's the backstory of like how the brand became. I wanted to do this brand for the longest time, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. But so even when I first started, I was always trying to do different things. Like I used to, I don't know, I'm thinking of this one photo, I like put grapes all over this guy's face with like really blue eyes and, you know, like matched, you know, really well. And it was like the contrast between the colors was awesome. And it was like these white leaves around him. But so even on that side, I tried to be, when I first started, I was trying to be a little bit more different and like abstract in a way, not like to any, not the direction I'm doing now, but, yeah, I have no idea like how or even what you would call what I do. I mean, they're all essentially, you know, just photos, but it's most of the post-production that is like where I get creative and stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, I'll do graphics and like Illustrator stuff over it, but most of the time it's just like cutting and layering photos.
Are you on people I'm sure are going to ask, so what program are you using for post-production now?
Illustrator and Lightroom for like photo stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like don't know how to do Photoshop really.
Photoshop's weird, and it modifies your file and it exports it really big. That's why I like Lightroom. It's so efficient.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
I mean, where does your inspiration come from? Where do you draw inspiration from?
A lot. Oh yeah. So a lot of my inspiration comes from Vimeo, which is like, if you guys don't know, the film world of YouTube.
Professional YouTube.
Yeah. So you know, YouTube's more vlog, Vimeo's more film,
right?
Like kind of thing is the way I like to put it. But yeah, Vimeo like has like some of the juiciest content, and a lot of it like, you know, isn't filtered or isn't shunned, or I guess in YouTube they like kind of put stuff. Isn't that monetizing or something?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes. You know, Vimeo is all about like a story and like visual stuff and a lot of it's creativity. And there's like sections, you know, you can go to like abstract art, whatever. Yeah. And I like look through a lot of that stuff, and I draw a lot of it from the clips and like how they're composed, and a lot of the stuff I like on there is like layering type of videos, and that's kind of where it was. This one video actually, like last, I don't know, June or something, and it had like, because you guys know I do like the squares.
Yeah.
It had like that in the video, and there was one where, let's say, what was it? It was like a girl opening her hand and then a flower on the other frame. And they like, you know, aren't the same, but the motion was the same. Or like one could be like an arm of a girl and then like a branch from the tree, you know.
That's cool.
So it all like connected in a way. And I was like, this is really, really cool. I really like this. And I did this video when I was in Charlotte, and it was based on that. And it was like one of my favorite things I've ever done, actually. It was really cool, and I didn't shoot it, actually. I only directed it, which was fun. And also going back with like the team thing, and this other one of the guys from Eightfold shot the whole thing, and I directed it, and it was like really interesting to see how it came out, because I could focus on the shots and like what I wanted rather than shooting it, you know.
Was that the first time you directed something?
Yeah, and it was like and like the girl we shot with was super. It was like a really cool experience. We were there for one of the things for Eightfold. I was traveling with them, and we had like a day off, and I like hit up this girl on Instagram, and we all three of us met up, and we shot this piece, and it was like really beautiful.
Where can we find that? Like, what's that? Because we can link it for you.
It's on Vimeo, but it's called
we'll link it.
Yeah.
So I just to touch on too, because I think that's, you had your day off, which turned into not a day off, which is that you know, that hustle you talk about. So how did you already follow this girl and you're like, oh, she lives in Charlotte or whatever, so then you hit her up, or did you like search by location? Like, how did you find this model or actress, or you know?
So I knew we had like, it was like a 2-week thing where we traveled to 4 different states. So I knew like all the places we were going to. So before that I, you know, looked up models, and I just like,
love that.
Yeah. Hashtagging like North or Charlotte or like the location. And
see, this is stuff people should like. I think this is really good value for a lot of people, because that stuff that we do before we travel, and that is so key to like setting up. That's how stuff doesn't just happen.
I mean, that's why we're here right now. That's why we're having a podcast with Zach, because 2 years ago, whatever, I think it was like August 2016, we were doing 60 seconds of Skroove, and we wanted to incorporate other creators in it. So we would just reach out to people on Instagram that we'd follow. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, for sure. You guys can share my video. So we featured your video. Yeah. And then we just stayed in touch, and then you just messaged us like, "Oh, I love the brand" or whatever. Like, yeah, we love your work. Let's set up a podcast.
Here we are.
Yeah. So, and it's all like we literally just met you like an hour ago, and we just connected through Instagram, which is it's so beautiful. It like so the beautiful. Day and age that we live in, just all the opportunity that's out there.
Super rad.
So, like Vimeo, you pull a lot of your photo inspiration from.
If you guys like you know, if you guys as well. Like the stuff I do, just literally in the link for the video, you can find my profile and go under my likes, and there's like just like tons and tons of videos of like really interesting, cool concepts and films.
So people can kind of see maybe what gets your mind running. And
stuff
like that. Cool.
And it's like, and it's not. I also like. It really helps me to see something in motion rather than a photo, even though I like take photos most of the time, you know. Just to like, I don't know, motion's huge, and the way people and things move and visualizing, you know, in colors, like, because I can see something, it could totally give me a different idea to how to do it, but because photos, I like, obviously I take a lot of them and I love them, but it's like there and that's it, kind of, you know.
Yeah. If so, on that tangent of inspiration, if you could like photograph any model, or if you could shoot anybody, do you have anybody in mind that you'd be like, you know, this would be awesome. This would be an awesome person to shoot. Who would that be?
Put him on the spot.
Yeah, I should have gave you some heads up on that.
I mean, there's some like bougie ones I want to shoot.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely want to shoot with Sahara Ray at some point.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well,
she's a fox.
Yeah. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Come on to Detroit.
But I follow quite a few people from like, not the United States. There's just a different look.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, but I would love to travel. I was just in Japan, but I would love to travel to like, I don't know, somewhere over there and set up a... Because, like, the fashion there is fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah, like, people don't walk on the streets and look like bums. You know?
Really?
It's like, they're either wearing, like, Supreme or, like, really, like, high-end, you know, one-of-a-kind, like, fashion piece where it's, like, you know, they're the only ones wearing that. And it's a really interesting place.
Yeah.
But
What'd you go to Japan for?
I originally went for work. Or, no, sorry. I originally went to travel, but I ended up, like, getting most of it comped for work.
Really?
Yeah. So
how was that experience, and how long were you over there for?
Only 8 days, which
wasn't enough.
Not, especially like jet lag coming back. Yeah. Definitely not enough. But man, Japan was super rad. Like, if you guys have been to New York City, it's like, I mean, it's the biggest metropolitan city in the world, you know, but there's no trash anywhere. That's like, when I always tell that to people. I don't know why, but it was like crazy because
how clean it was.
Yeah.
Why is that? Just
people just have like more personal
different
respect,
cultural values, maybe.
Yeah, value like their city and stuff. It's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
What is there like a huge like language barrier where you're super intimidating, or was it like, is it good to get by for you? I'm assuming you don't speak Japanese, but I could be wrong.
Definitely a language barrier, but I don't mind. I like having a little bit of a language barrier. Because I mean, sometimes you can like say whatever you want in the back of a cab, you know? Like, yeah,
that's true.
Like, it's kind of, but yeah, I like having a language barrier.
That's cool. That's
like,
unique.
Sometimes, obviously, it's annoying. It's like,
when I gotta go
to the bathroom.
Yeah. But you know, it's like a little bit refreshing where you kind of can be free and you don't have to like worry about anything.
Do they have hamburgers in Japan?
Yeah, they have McDonald's.
Do they?
Yeah, we went to McDonald's once. But lots of ramen.
So experiences or anything that you recommend for people to do that go to Japan? Landmarks, different touristy things or cities?
Shibuya and Shinjuku. We went to this robot show too. It was, I don't know.
Like fighting robots or what?
No, it's like this choreographed like robot show in this bar that is literally like the smallest space ever, but somehow, and these guys are like remote controlling these robots, and they do like this 180-degree pivot, and it's like this close on each side. It's like insane.
How big are these robots?
Huge.
Like bigger than people?
Oh, like, yeah.
Really?
And then, but there's also people like dancing and stuff too, like fighting the robots and stuff. It's nuts. It's like a total culture thing, you know?
Nothing you'd see in America.
Yeah. But you can like also, there's like what are they called, like baseball or batting cages, just like on the like parking garages of tons of different places,
Really?
like just around the city.
Really?
And there's like, you know, anime, like
Yeah.
games and like arcades everywhere.
Yeah, sure.
Huh.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if we went to Tokyo and then, oh my gosh,
Somewhere else.
yeah, like a historical place. I can't even think of it. But
Highly recommended though, huh? Japan.
yeah,
Cool.
That's cool. What'd you do? Like Airbnbs over there, hotels?
yeah, Airbnb, one hotel.
Really,
Yeah,
Airbnbs?
Yeah, that's where it's at.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
So, advice for people like starting out and that want to, advice for people starting out and people that want to make photography a living, or you know, what do you recommend for people that want to do something they love?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy for sure. It's really, really difficult, but it's possible. I totally believe, you know, if you're, I believe that everyone's creative. I totally believe you're made that way. Also, I believe if you are passionate about something, that you can make a living out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you have to think about how many people are in this world. And because sometimes, you know, I get discouraged where I won't get a job here or there. And I think, you know, like, okay, there's this many people in the world and this many businesses and this many people that need photos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to be fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but the biggest thing I would say is, one, networking. And I'm not the best at it, but it's huge. Like, you don't have to be the best photographer to be one of the best photographers. Like, there's a lot of like photographers that go on tour with these huge artists that like, I know I could do better than them, but they're homies with them, you know, like they know them. And it's sometimes about like more of a relationship and getting along that they would hire you.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, literally.
Yep.
That being said, you know, you can't like go around with your iPhone, but
Right, you have to be adequate enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're saying, relationships are huge.
Yeah.
Just connecting with people and networking. But
Yes.
yeah, I agree. We agree with that.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you're gonna have to give up a lot of time and like things that you thought were important. Like, if once you start to like do something you truly love, you'll figure out, you know, what's important, what's not. And like, not saying like partying's a bad thing, but I used to like party a bunch, and like now I don't go out really ever, but it's because I'm working. Like, you know, it doesn't, most of the time it doesn't feel like work, but
Maybe it's
know.
because you found meaning in
Yeah.
your work. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, that your escapism can be your work, which is a super weird thing to think about. But when you're doing what you love,
yeah.
not that there aren't stressful times, because there certainly are. But,
You know, like, obviously enjoy yourself, but this guy, Rory Kramer, he has like his one of his shirts says like, you know, you can sleep when you die.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just kind of the same thing. Like, no one's gonna do it for you. You know, it's not gonna be easy. Like, it's not at all. And like, I'm doing like okay now. You know, there's still times when I'm broke, but like, it's awesome.
But it's part of the journey, right?
Totally.
dude,
Yeah.
that's
That's
we
the beautiful
talk about
thing,
that a
you
lot.
know.
Yeah.
You're trading your time. You're trading, you know, time for money. But like, would you rather work a 9 to 5 and hate it and like, all right, yeah, make $100,000 a year, but I hate my life, or you know, make, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, but you're in control of everything.
And look
Yeah.
at the experiences, especially in your line of work. Like, yeah, you were in Japan. Yeah, you did these tours where you went to different. Yeah, you moved out to Colorado. Most people work to where they can have the money to go on these, you know, micro retirements or retirements when they're older, and that's the things they want to do. You're getting to do these along the way. You know, it's just the journey is such a part of it. You know, you got to play the long game. I think, you know, patience
Yeah.
is huge, and you know, I think you understand that.
Yeah. We still kind of going on like what like people first starting out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm still starting out, totally. You know, like, I'm still new to this, and I learn stuff all the time. But one thing I just started doing like a month ago was like, I mean, I have like this Excel sheet, and because I feel like a lot of people, like when they first start out photography, they just go to brands and they go to this kind of direction of like reaching out to brands and stuff. But I've got this Excel sheet, and I try to like email 10 brands a day, and because it's such a numbers game, like there's could be like, you know, I've emailed like over 200 brands, and it's like it gets discouraging sometimes, but you'll email 100 and get 5 jobs, and that's what you gotta do.
What for people wondering, like, how is it worded? What do you say to people? Are you like looking to get your foot in the door, be like, hey, this is what I do?
So it's basically like a cold email, like this is what I do. Nothing like too specific, because you'll essentially like copy and paste it, which I think I sent one to you guys. But yeah, I mean, that being said, if you want to personalize everyone, the chances go up for sure, but that is a lot more work, and this is already a lot of work,
But is it like it's a cold email? You never met these people. You go get their email off their website. But it's like, are you asking for a job right off the bat? Or are you trying to build relationships with these people? How do you typically
a little
do
bit
it?
of both. Like I'll say, so in it, I'll create a PDF which will have example photos of mine, a few, I forgot what it says, but just a few things about my work, more photos, my rates.
Okay.
And then so it's like, because asking people to pay you is never comfortable. It never is. But I find it easier if like you type up the email and then you have this PDF that they can look at that says the rates.
Yep.
Kind of, I don't know.
Sneak it in there.
Yeah. But yeah, in the email it says basically like, hi, I'm Zach. I'm a local photographer here or wherever.
Yep.
I really like your brand and really like the community you've based it around. I don't know, a little bit more, because you want to make them feel good.
You gotta smooth it out.
Yeah. And then at the end, I'll be like, I created this PDF for you guys. Like, check it out. It has some of my photos. And yeah, either people will either not email you or email you back or say we're not interested. But
kind of a numbers game at that point.
Yeah. Also, there's this plugin for Google called Boomerang, which really helpful. You can send the email, set the boomerang to, like, if they don't respond in 3 days, it will resend it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it will notify you if they haven't responded. Really? So yeah, it's a good way of like keeping track. But then once I email them, I'll put their brand name and their email in a Excel sheet, so I know like the list I've gone through. And then if I get an email back, I'll put in the Excel sheet like responded.
Yep.
But yeah, I like this.
Because there's nothing worse than accidentally hitting the same person after you've talked to them, right? Like,
oh yeah, dude. I've done that with an artist actually. Like when I first started.
Oh man, it happens.
I like emailed his manager a bunch, and he's like, "Stop emailing." And then like a year later, they reached out to me for work, which is funny.
Dude, yeah, it is funny, man. Persistence, right?
That's textbook, man. That happens.
I think people definitely find that helpful, though.
Yeah.
It is. You just have to put yourself out there. And, people can only hire you if they even know you exist, right? So It's like...
And a no today isn't a no tomorrow. Like, 3 months from now, they could be like, oh, hey, we got that email.
Right.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
guy.
That's like one of the biggest things.
And sending your catalog, I think, is genius.
Yeah.
Like, this is, sample of my work, which can stick with people. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on that note? If you got more, I'm sure people are interested.
Also, because you're going to get a lot of no responses, just think like either they don't have the budget, they just took photos, they already have a photographer, they simply don't want them. There's a million reasons why they won't even respond, or they'll say no. So don't you're not going to email one person and get a response. Like that's not going to happen unless you're like, I don't know, some, really, really famous professional photographer where it's like, why would he even be messaging me? But yeah, that's just how it is.
And it's not like a knock to your work either.
No, not at all.
It's people that have a million other things that, like you just said, either have a photographer, it's just not the right time for them. So yeah, it's important to stay positive about it. Like believe in what you're doing and the artwork that you create for sure.
And I would say because probably like most people that follow me that are photographers, like beginners or my level or whatever, start local for sure. So if you're from Michigan, sorry. I'm just kidding.
I'm already emailing everybody. We had
you got to hustle this guy, so you have quite a task.
But yeah, definitely start local. Just because that's the best opportunity, and you can email freaking Spape or Supreme if you want, but it's like setting yourself up for,
You need a portfolio.
Don't be surprised if you get slapped in the face.
Yeah, But yeah, there's also another website called Hunter IE, I think, where you can pay $25 a month, and you'll type in a brand, and it will give you their marketing director email, their
Really? Cool.
So yeah, that's
cool.
Another hack.
Yep. Sometimes they'll email you back like, "Where the hell did you get my email from?" You know what I mean? They'll be like annoyed that you have it.
Oh, we went to college together. Remember?
Yeah.
Like,
Jeff, a real generic name. Jeff gave it to me.
Yeah, Jeff, my old school mate.
But actually, even like better than emailing, if you can like call these brands, it's because I don't know, it's easy to say no when you're not even talking to someone, or if you can like go to their storefront and talk to the manager or marketing director, like your chances just go way up because most people like care and have some emotion where they're like, yeah, sure.
It is a lot harder to say no to somebody like in person, and then you have the opportunity to
sell yourself.
sell yourself and your energy rub off on them for sure.
Which is huge.
Yeah. In the email at the end, I'll say, I have some time this week if you want to get on a call. I always suggest that because I didn't go to college. I didn't really care in high school, unfortunately. I'm not the best emailer or like typer. I don't have the best grammar, but I'm much better like in person or on phone call.
Yep.
For sure. So I'd like to dive into like something different and how that came about, and what is it exactly? What are your dreams? Is it a brand of clothes? Is it just like a creative media outlet? How did you?
Before we start that, let's do a quick restart.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll get into something different.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Cool. So we left off on something different. What it is, how it came about.
Yep.
Dive into it. What is something different?
Tell the people.
So something different is a brand, I guess. I'm so weird about that. Like even when I was a photographer to begin, like when I was first starting, I'm like, do I consider myself a photographer? Like what do I call myself? But yeah, this is a brand based around a magazine. It's right here. But it like I said earlier in the podcast, something different was like in my bio for before this was even in my mind, really. So
like a personal mantra, kind of personal saying.
Yeah. Well, it was just kind of like this idea of like how I wanted to display my work different, and I wanted to be something different, essentially, But so yeah, this came about. I had the idea to like print a magazine in like July of last year, and it was because I started shooting a lot of film early on in the year, and one of my friends gave me a film camera like years and years ago, and I just was sitting in my closet for the longest time. And then I started shooting on it and developed a few rolls. I'm like, this is really interesting because, you can't take a photo and look at it and change it and perfect it. And it's like raw, like film is super raw, and you take it and, you learn as you go of like how to, like the metering. And I don't know how many rolls I shot before I even had like one good photo.
Really?
Because I don't know how to do any of it. I don't develop it myself. I want to start doing that, but
where do you go to develop them? Because I go to Walmart and it's like $10 a roll.
Well, at that time when I started shooting stuff, it was all in Denver, and I went to Mike's Camera, and they do it for like really cheap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they can do it like the day of too.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because it takes like 2 weeks at Walmart.
But you can go online now. I think it's like Black Room or something, or Dark Room or something.
Okay.
Online. Yeah, and they'll give you like a WeTransfer before they send.
Oh, that's cool.
Before they send the negatives back, yeah, so you can look at them and stuff. And it's like $8, and they cover shipping. But
oh wow,
not bad.
Yeah. So I started shooting a bunch of film, and I didn't really do anything with it for the longest time. I didn't really post a lot of it on my Instagram because it was just like, I don't know, it was pretty raw, and it like was more of a fun thing to do for me, and I enjoyed just shooting film and like capturing more of a moment rather than trying to either like tell a story or create a cool concept or create something cool. It was more of like taking this moment and I don't know, not sharing it to the world. But I decided to print a magazine, and I like launched the thing in November, but from February to October, somewhere in those dates, I like had the idea of doing this. So I started like actually shooting a ton of film and shooting or setting up shoots specifically for the magazine, where only they'll be put in the magazine, So the whole thing is shot. The whole thing in this is shot in film.
That's cool. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and then there's like one page with a little pocket that comes with the negative.
Huh.
So like this negative actually is the cover, which.
Is it all different negatives?
Yeah, so
that's
cool.
sweet.
They're
That
all
is really sweet.
They're all from the shot from the magazine.
That's cool. Kind of like a Cracker Jack box. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I love that concept.
But yeah, so it's like I wanted to add a personal touch,
Mm-hmm.
and this way there's something tangible. You can like take
That
this
is cool.
and hang it somewhere, which is just pretty cool.
So
idea.
how do people get the magazine if they want one?
You can go on my website,
Okay.
on the Something Different website,
Okay.
and I think they're like $12 right now.
Is it like sdmag.net?
Yep.
I believe.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll link that in the bio for
Check it
sure.
out,
Yep.
people.
And I also have like merch and stuff, but I wanted to put out. So it's Something Different, and then the two F's are different, and it stands for film and fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is the film aspect, right? And also I have these like online stories that people can submit their work, and we'll feature it. Because my goal for it really is for it to be like big enough. Naked Magazine is like a huge inspiration, and a lot of it's like this really raw content. Super like grungy. A lot of it's like pretty sexual, but my goal for it is for people to wake up every morning and what got
Check it.
published on or posted on Something Different,
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately I can't like print a magazine for every person, but these online stories, I want to highlight artists and kind of like what you guys are doing in a sense. I want to create this community where people can come and even comment on posts and talk about it and stuff, but it's not gonna happen overnight, obviously.
Right.
So I'm building that right now, but
Very organically.
yeah, thanks. It's definitely easier than a personal brand because I can like feature artists and they'll post it.
But it has a very real feel to it, like
Yeah.
very grassroots, organic, and we like that. So.
Yeah.
And I think the concept behind it's sweet.
So do I.
And you have clothes on your website, and it looks like a lot of it's like one of one stuff
Yeah.
that you've made,
Yeah.
and so
It is cool.
It is cool, and it is awesome to incorporate that aspect into it as well with like the film, and then you are selling clothes on there and telling people stories and just getting people involved and helping people out. Like,
Give them a platform.
that's super cool.
Thanks.
I love that. That's sweet. So, what is the goal for it? Is that what you want to be doing full time? Is grow something different to a brand that like you are,
What's on the horizon?
Yeah. What's next? For
I mean,
Zach?
so like what I really want to start doing is like designing apparel and like sewing together one piece.
That's cool.
Like I'm doing these like custom denim jackets right now. They're more of like a creative outlet where I can paint on them or whatever, but like I want to sew and design like really unique outfits where they're more high fashion, not necessarily like this like streetwear and stuff, but even like my own merch, I just put it out there to like have the brand as like advertising when people are walking, and so they can like rep it and stuff.
Right,
But
absolutely.
that's definitely, I don't want to be like just doing graphics over
Right.
like simple black t-shirts and stuff, like I want it to essentially be like that. I guess that's the fashion part. But I like just learned how to sew, and it's not easy, and I don't even know like how I'm gonna get there, but it's not gonna happen next year. It's not gonna happen, for like a few years, but I mean, who knows? Maybe it's gonna happen next year, but it's definitely not gonna happen overnight.
But it's good that you just started, because a lot of people like, it's gonna take a while, and they just put it off. You've got the hard part down. You started it. You know what I mean?
And even like even if I grow, something different, larger, it would be really cool to like bring up. I don't necessarily need to do the designing. I think it'd be cool, but people are way better at it than me, obviously, so it'd be really cool to like bring on someone to do that. Yeah. But I also, this is like more of a passion project right now, and I have like my own brand to worry about. But I guess like even doing this full time, the way I would like to generate revenue is like through ad stuff on these stories.
On something different. You'd rather grow that than like have your personal brand be bigger?
Just for something different. I think you mentioned like how I would do that, or something about doing it. I don't know. But the way I see this gaining money and like generating money through me is through advertisement once it gets bigger. Through, if someone wanted to put like their ad on a story at the end of it. But I don't see my shirts and stuff.
Just like
more of like
I mean, it's kind of like our
byproduct
coffee.
of it.
Like we have our line of coffee,
or just
which,
to pay for it.
Yeah. Our margin is awful on it.
Yeah.
We hardly make anything on it, but we just enjoy having it. We like to drink our own coffee. We like to give people the opportunity to start their day with Skroove. Like it's just kind of a cool addition to our product line.
Yeah.
It's not a huge revenue stream for us. So.
Totally.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have any other specific questions? I know we have the Q&A.
Let me see real quick. We talked about just like the Wells Fargo, Big B, kind of you working with them. Yeah, just a couple questions real quick. So, like dream photo shoot. What would be like the dream photo shoot for you, or one of them? What would be something super dope for you to do?
Right now, I'm like really into colors, and because for a while, like the trend was. I'm not saying like you need to follow trends, but just like the way our minds work most of the time. The trend was like faded, crushed blacks, a little bit less saturated, but I think like this contrast saturation is coming back, and I'm super into it right now. I just did this one shoot that was with a bunch of colors, but my dream shoot would, I don't even know. That's such a difficult question.
What would be one version of a dream shoot? Not like the ultimate maybe, but something that is appealing to you.
Some like it would be a shoot with a lighting guy for sure, and I think it'd be really cool to have some lighting guy come in and set up this crazy scene and have a few models, diverse definitely, and all kind of like balancing colors and stuff and contrasting with each other. And I don't know necessarily what the background would be and stuff, but I like the idea of like shooting more than one person, which I haven't done a lot, you know?
Yeah, that definitely is a unique
Concept.
Something abstract. I don't know. It's hard to explain, you know?
It's all up here.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we can dive into
in from you, the people.
Well, I got one more question I think would bring value. So that you started like a couple years ago. Now you have a pretty decent following. How did you grow your Instagram following? Is it just organically getting people involved?
Well, it's funny because once I started doing like the square thing on my Instagram, I knew my like following would go down and my likes would go down. But I don't know. I guess maybe that's encouragement to some people trying to like try something different, or try new things. It's like I'm doing it, and you know what I mean. Like I'm making it, I guess, and I'm doing what I love and like how my mind works and stuff. So stick with it, try it. It will work. People will follow. Like I think there's a certain amount of time until people are gonna start trying what I'm doing, which people do it obviously, but
not as well.
I don't know. But yeah, when I was like doing the trendy photos, like with the explorer hats and going into the mountains or the trees and the woods, it was
content like a lot of people
Yeah.
align themselves with.
Yeah. So I'm like, people are probably being offended, but whatever.
You know what? People will always be offended, right?
Yeah,
Just be yourself.
Sorry about it, but that was like I like grew pretty fast then, from like when I first started to like, or from when I guess it was to being like just a regular person on Instagram or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
To where people would actually start following you because they're interested in what you're doing. That was like I grew pretty fast just by doing like trendy photos and stuff, and
kind of saw the market, knew what people like. I can hack this.
Once you had the attention, you could direct more of your artistic, flair into what you wanted them to see too. So I mean, it's a good strategy.
Yeah. I mean, because I used to get like 1,200 likes on photos, and I had like 6,000 followers, which is like pretty.
That's a nice ratio.
That's good engagement.
And now I get
sure.
like 300 likes, but I don't know. Like I'm doing what I like, and that's what matters.
You trust in your instinct too. People don't always know what they want. And, you know what I mean. Like anybody who sets a trend or a new standard, it takes time. It's not the most popular thing at first. So yeah, I think that's important.
I've also thought about like switching back for purposes of like I could probably get more work if. But I'm like, if I need to, I guess, but I don't need to right now, so I'm just gonna keep going with it. Even I have like that sometimes where I'm like, fuck, like I know if I like went back to like having more of a tone or a like color palette aesthetic, I could probably get more work, but My goal isn't to like be, I don't know, a big like. My goal in life is to have my art somewhere in like a museum or something, not to be Instagram famous for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like,
it's just a tool.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Q&A time.
By the people, for the people.
Yeah. So this is Zach's following submitted a bunch of questions. It looks like so. Let's dive into the hot seat.
All right. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
The floor is yours, my friend.
I was just. No, you're good.
Okay. All right. Question number 1. What is the dopest brand that you have ever worked for?
It's funny because the guy that asked me this is one of the big brands I work for.
Oh, so this is a loaded question.
Yeah. I mean, this. Well, I don't even know. I actually haven't worked with like a ton of brands, but I do work for Electric Family, and they're really, really awesome. And from their brand to their self to like the community to the people that I directly communicate with, they're one of my favorites for sure. As far as like different, I guess, and like, let's see. I don't even know.
It's probably hard to peg just one.
Yeah, I haven't like shot for a brand. I haven't, because I've worked with them for a while now, and I haven't done a ton of brand work recently. I don't know. I guess
We'll say Electric Family to please the guy that asked the question.
Yeah, we'll give him the love.
But that is honestly Electric Family. Those guys rock, and they've also been a huge help.
Where are they based out of?
Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
That's cool.
And they're really cool because they work with like every electronic artist basically in the industry, and like their whole message behind it is like Electric Family is supporting positivity and helping people and being there and being friends.
Love that.
Yeah, like really good energy.
Love that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Japan's definitely up there. If I could live anywhere, maybe we'll just say Japan. Japan.
That's cool.
I was pretty much sold. If it was as easy as like getting up and moving to Japan, I totally would.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Konnichiwa. Yeah,
Konnichiwa. Is that Japanese?
I think
Mandarin?
So. I don't know. My foreign language is awful. The only like Japanese experience I have is from Kill Bill 1 and 2. So
we went to that bar too, actually.
No, where Hattori Hanzo.
Yeah.
Hattori Hanzo works.
Yeah.
Really? Did you get a sword?
I wish. Because, we saw Quentin Tarantino's signature like with his photo.
Really?
Oh, no
Dude,
shit.
he's like my favorite director of all
Yeah,
time.
he's a wizard.
I don't think I've watched anybody's movies more than his on loop. I mean,
Yeah.
that got me through college.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big Tarantino guy. I love this question. This is a great question. Whoever asked this, what is your favorite ring and where did you get it?
Oh my gosh. Because it's funny because I was going to go through those and I was like, well, never mind.
We're at no filter now.
Yeah, I know.
You gave us your book, man.
This is the raw, unfiltered,
Uncut.
This is a good
Okay.
question. I like this.
All right. It's going to be this one. And it's from Belize, actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
But actually, the stone is like, this is my oldest one, too. The stone is chipped, but not most people don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But I've had this for like 3 years.
Really? We're big ring guys too.
I know, yeah, you guys are sick.
We call them our
Turquoise.
pirate rings.
Yeah.
Because we love pirates, and I don't know, pirates always wore
Yeah.
rings. So.
It's like, brass knuckles too.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then I was gonna
Knock
ask
some
about
heads.
this one, the number 13. I was actually born on Friday the 13th.
That's crazy.
So that's a fun fact.
That's wild.
All right, biggest inspiration overall. I know we kind of touched on that earlier, but
Biggest inspiration?
Yeah.
Vimeo for sure.
okay, that's a good tool.
Vimeo and honestly Twitter. Like I follow. I don't follow very many people on Twitter, but I go on there to like look at photos and stuff. Twitter's huge.
Yeah.
I don't look for a lot of inspiration on Instagram just because
No?
Is it a little saturated? Do you think?
it's all the same really. And,
See, I
and
love
find,
Instagram I find a lot of inspiration in
I mean, I totally
Instagram.
do, but I also Instagram's filtered, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, and I think, if you're trying to like post on some platform or some medium, it's really good to look at different mediums and different platforms.
To not get like tunnel vision on what you're
Yeah.
doing. I like this one here. If you could be any animal, what would you be and why? So there's like a sort of spirit animal. What is it?
Oh, probably a wolf because I've just always loved. I have a tattoo of a wolf too.
Yeah, wolves are badass.
Yeah, they're just They're really cool and they're really pretty.
Yeah.
Alpha.
Like the gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Let's see. As an artist, what is your main focus and goal?
So yeah, I consider myself an artist, not a photographer.
Okay.
I do photography, but I consider myself an artist.
I like that.
My main focus and goal, my goal, like I said earlier, is to be, like, leave a legacy. You know, have have my art, and I don't even know if this is the direction I'm gonna be in a year from now. You know, but I want to create something big, and I want to make an impact on the world. That's my goal through my art.
That's good.
Love that.
I could I could branch off from photography and, like, I don't know, do some other medium for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but,
like,
that's what's exciting. Like, that's what you
Yeah,
said. You're an
yeah.
artist, not a photographer. You know,
Yeah.
you have your end goal to, you know, make your impact, but the beauty of your journey is you don't know, you know,
Yeah,
how you're going to
yeah.
get there. What is your proudest moment so far?
moving out to Colorado and not knowing what is gonna happen.
Just
and,
rolling the dice, kind of?
Yeah, and making it happen. And it was, like, really difficult for a few months, but I'm pretty proud of myself.
You want to
for
dive
that.
into that a little bit?
I
Yeah.
would like to hear about that.
So, yeah, it was like December 28th. I packed my bags, drove out to Colorado, did a little road trip when I went out there. And
This was last year.
yeah, last year, 2017, January, like, 1st, I moved out there. Was supposed to move in with some people. It fell through. Ended up, last summer I went through Colorado. We stayed with this guy who owned an Airbnb. I called him up when I moved out there. And I was like, hey, you know, my living situation kind of got screwed up. Can I, like, stay with you for a couple weeks? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I went over there and, like, slept in his basement with them. Ended up moving in with him for a few months. And then just, like, I don't know. I don't even no idea how I even paid for rent, to be honest. Because I moved out there, like, without a job in mind. And I knew, like, a few people, but I actually, this is funny. It's funny because, like, this year I made it a goal for, like, people to know more about me. And especially, like, on social media, you know, you just see, like, what they
What
do.
people want.
Right.
Yeah, what people
yeah.
want. But I, like, shot gymnastics up for a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, which is, like, really funny, but and it, like, did not pay well at all. But I was at the point in my life where I was literally taking any photography job to try and make it, and it was awful. Like, it really sucked, and it was so boring. And it paid. I worked for, like, so many hours and got paid nothing, but I made it. So bye. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. But yeah, I was doing that. I even applied to, like, snow shovel and stuff. But I mean, yeah, it was a really big struggle when I first moved out there. And
Do you
then-
believe that, like, throwing yourself into that environment, like the situational, like, struggle, forcing yourself to figure it out, that's important? Like, if you want to do something, take the leap that you believe you'll figure it out. You'll make the money if you have to. Like, that's your only option, right?
Totally. There's also, like I was saying, people in the world. There's also so much money out there. Like, people shouldn't be stressed about money. Like, there's so many ways to make
You
it.
can find it.
Yeah. But yes, definitely. And sometimes I'm a firm believer of stepping out of your comfort zone and trying new things. And if you fail, that's okay. You know, like, it's like I'm taking up a job right now I have no idea how to do, but I'm probably going to screw up a little bit, but that's okay. You know, like, that's how you learn.
You figure it
That's
out
how
as you
get
go.
better. Yeah.
I mean, that's life, you know?
Yeah.
That's life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's just like, I love your, like, calendar over here.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
taking the leap of faith. Like, you just have to have that, like, that blind faith
Yeah.
and you believe everything's going to work
Like
out.
like in The Dark Knight Rises when he's like, you gotta jump without the rope. You know what I mean? What does the child do? It's an awful impression.
What are they saying? Rise.
Yeah, right. I have no idea how we got there, but I love it.
So, proudest moment, like, moving out to Denver and just, like, figuring it out?
Yeah. Just, like, moving out, trying things, and I guess being on my own. You know?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Got out of your comfort zone, and
Yeah.
that's cool. That is cool.
That is neat.
So you picked up gigs for so long, and then did you find a job or different jobs that kind of was more steady?
So, I'm also, like, a minimalist, and I can live like this stuff. I just got in the past few months because I started in the clothes thing, but, like, that's basically my bedroom. But I also am really cheap, and so that's a big help. You know, I don't need a lot of things. I don't have a lot of expenses. So that was one way I didn't spend money. But yeah, I like met this kid who owned a sunglass company. I started shooting a bunch of festivals with him. He was one of like the first people that kind of, besides like Eightfold, he was like the first brand that told me, you know, like, you're worth this much. Like, you shouldn't be charging any less. And I was like, oh damn,
that's cool.
And that is cool.
Yeah, and he was like really cool because he like wasn't balling by any means, but he, you know, he paid me like really well.
Saw your worth and believed in you.
Yeah, and I like those are the brands I want to work with too. Not just because they pay me good, but because they're honest and, you know, they're not afraid to put money in something they believe in.
That's sometimes hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that Colorado, that sounds like I mean, just the stones it takes to get up and just without any real thing lined up. I totally admire that. That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Where's your jacket from? So your jacket? I don't know.
Oh yeah. See, that's fine. I got it from Goodwill. It was the one I was wearing in the photo.
So you don't even
Gosh,
know.
we love Goodwill.
Yeah.
My brother's the king of Goodwill, and I'm just like the prince. I'm just getting in. I mean, we had these big fur coats we wore out. Yeah, we'll show you some pictures.
Dude, I just got this dope fur coat for $10
Goodwill's
yesterday.
baller, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my! I can't. I'm gonna wear it. Our friend, she has a birthday party this Friday.
it's kind of my thing.
I'm gonna stunt in that thing this week.
Yeah.
And then on like my birthday, which was we went out like 2 weekends ago or something. We wore these big fur coats out, and like the band called us on stage. And by the end of the night, like these guys like all went out and like I don't know if they went home or they got all their girlfriends like big fur coats. So these guys just wanted to like be a part of it.
Oh,
so by
dude,
the end
that
of the
was
night,
righteous.
yeah,
I love it.
Goodwill's.
We love Goodwill.
Goodwill's
Yeah.
awesome.
How do you add depth to your editing?
I think with that person, I think they're talking about like, I don't know if it was like depth in like a story or depth in
Like a depth of field?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the lens? Like
Yeah.
the last reason?
or maybe they're, I don't know, I guess.
How do you do editing? Because you have like different layers to your photos.
Yeah,
like how many
yeah.
is it usually? Like 3 or what? Or is it just
can be
dependent?
anywhere from like 3 to like 16.
Oh really?
Yeah. A lot of times I learned this like trick after like video editing. It's like messing with the blending tools.
Yeah.
And that's, dude, a lot of it I don't even go in. I think there's another question. We can answer that right now.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
know there's another question. It's like, do you have the concept before you shoot, or do you, do you have the concept of editing before you shoot, or do you just shoot and then edit together? And most of the time I shoot and then just edit it together, and I never, I basically just like put photos in and try things.
Yeah.
You're just, I think this will look good.
Yeah. And match, like learning, color palettes and tones also helps a lot too.
Let's wait 1 second.
Yeah,
Let's
go.
restart cameras real quick.
And we're back. All right.
Q&A. Here we go.
Yep, Q&A.
Diving back in.
All right, so when are we starting up Live Simply again?
So Live Simply was probably actually the first creative thing no, not the first creative. Live Simply is this brand me and my friend kind of made in like, I don't know, right after high school. And it was like, I like drew up this like koala with this logo, and we like got it, we sent it to some designer, and he like actually made it and stuff. We were like stoked on it. It sold like 2 shirts, and then it just died. But probably, I don't know. It's funny because he mentioned it the other day, and I'm like, it'd be kind of cool. I got so much other stuff going on, and I think the name's already taken.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
that probably,
Stay tuned. You never know.
I think it's like a North Face like side thing.
Is it?
Yeah,
Live
yeah.
Simply.
how'd you learn to sew?
My mom. Yep.
Props to the mom.
Did she have an old sewing machine for you?
Yeah, but she just got a new one. It's sick.
Is it?
Excellent.
Yeah, so.
That helps. Japan, is Japan a high recommendation, or where else have you been?
Japan's a very, very high recommendation, especially for anyone really. Like the sights to see, like the biggest city in the world, I think everyone should experience it. The culture is really, really cool. Where else have I been? I've been to Guatemala, Mexico, Belize, Canada, a lot of the states. Hopefully I'm going to travel a lot more this year though.
That's always fun.
That's my goal.
I like this most embarrassing situation.
Okay, I don't. So I'm just gonna say this one because it's like relevant to photography and stuff, and I was gonna say it earlier, but oh my gosh. So if any of, well, so I filmed this one wedding, right, and it went pretty well, and blah blah. I got it done. Then someone else asked me to film one, and I'm like, sure. This is at the time where I don't do weddings anymore. Not kind of for this reason, but they're too stressful, and if I can do without them, I'm gonna do without them. But so yeah, it's their wedding day, and we got everything set up, and it's like an hour before the wedding. Like I need to be there, and I give the lady a text, and this is so bad. Jeez. I give the lady a text, and
The bride?
yeah, the bride.
Okay,
the lady, yeah.
I want to make sure.
I'm in Grand Rapids, okay? I
Okay.
give the bride a text, and apparently I'm like, hey, I'm here. I don't see anyone really. Like, am I at the right location? And I think there's a Henry Ford and Gerald R. Ford. One's in Detroit, one's in Grand Rapids. And I looked up the one in Grand Rapids. So I'm like, yeah, it's like an hour before like everything starts really. I'm like, hey, I'm here, blah, blah, where are you guys at? And then can you send me the address? Send me the address, and it's like in Detroit.
Oh my God.
It's like 2+ hours
yeah.
away.
And yeah, so at this point, I'm like sick to my stomach. I'm like, because you always hear, like you cannot screw up a wedding. Right. There's a lot of pressure. It's the one time of the day, like they're the one day of their life, it's really, really special that they want to capture.
Oh my God.
And I screwed it up.
What ended up happening?
So yeah, I actually was like, hey, I can't make it, like, I'm sorry. And, like, luckily, like, she had a cousin or something that could film it.
Oh, my gosh.
Also, another bad thing I did, I, like, put my phone in airplane mode and just, I, like, told her that, and she's like, okay, we'll figure it out. And after that, I was like, put my phone in airplane mode, and I was like,
don't need it.
yeah.
That sucks.
So
I feel like doing weddings would be super stressful.
Yeah, so... I mean, I actually like almost did one over this. I know I could do a good job. I won't take photos.
Go up from there, right?
Oh, so you just do video at weddings?
Yeah, I won't take photos, so don't hire me to take photos. But yeah, pretty interesting and pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, that was probably not a good day.
Yeah.
How does one with zero video experience begin vlogging?
You pick up a camera. You put a mic on, and you turn it around and you talk. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, I have a friend who's a DJ, and he just started vlogging, and they're super good. I personally haven't vlogged, but I'm going to start. Quote me on that.
Hold them to it.
Hold them accountable, guys and girls.
But, I mean, I don't know. It's just something you do. Like, you try it. They're going to suck at first. They'll get better. It's how it happens,
Start and learn as you go, huh?
Yep.
How long did it take before you went full time?
Like a year and a half probably.
Okay.
From like when I really became interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get so swaggy?
I started thrift shopping.
That'll do it.
What?
Yeah. What is the hardest part of your job? Is it more a dilemma? Not being stressful? I don't know. You can just run with that.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this question. It's like, what is the most difficult part morally about my job? And it's this kind of feeling of having to make people happy or, cater to their needs. And it sucks sometimes, especially with like, as an artist, I guess it's not really morally, but a lot of times I want to do stuff different, and I feel like I can't because society or whatever says I can't, And I try to like break that as much as I can, but...
Are you talking about like the people you're working with or your audience or like a brand that you're doing work for?
Yeah, a lot of things. Like, like... I guess mainly like my personal stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I would like to do like even more abstract and like different things, but I don't know. I feel like it would. I don't know.
Maybe the world's not ready for it yet.
Yeah, that's kind of a difficult question. That I don't know. Sorry.
We tried.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Seriously.
Yeah.
Favorite film to shoot with?
I think they mean film. Is it like?
I believe like
roll
camera.
or
Yeah, I would think
camera?
they're like the roll.
I use the Kodak Color 24, and then I have a Minolta point and shoot that I like.
This is not a paid endorsement.
Where do they get that film from?
Honestly, eBay is the best place because you can buy like 30 rolls for really cheap.
Oh really?
Can you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What is the best advice you have for accelerating growth with freelance work?
Put yourself out there. Try things. Like, well, it's funny. I even got in a phone call the other day, or I tried calling this company, and the guy like totally shut me down. Like, I haven't been shut down like that in a while, and he just like was like, "No, we're not interested." And he ended up like calling back the next day, which is like ironic. I didn't get the job, but he like apologized. But
Oh, really?
literally making yourself known and present to people, because like you guys said, like if you don't ask or if you don't, show yourself, they're not gonna know you're there. And if they don't know you're there, you won't get money and you won't have a job. It's like a really simple concept, but like wrap it up in our minds, and it's so much deeper. We're like, oh, I'm not quite at this level yet, not quite there yet, or they don't do this or that, but it's just like try.
I think he always says this, like people can't like what they don't know exists, or they can't hire what they don't know exists. At least give yourself a shot.
Yeah, totally.
So
Like you can make excuses all you want, but like just put yourself out there and
Yep.
see what happens. What's gonna happen?
put it on the table for sure.
Yeah.
First camera.
The Canon T3i with the kit lens.
And the best part of work.
I get to do what I love to do. And, excuse me. Yeah, it's not as glorified and cool as that, though. But it's definitely the best part, that I don't work a 9 to 5.
Well, these questions give you interesting angle on people's perspective, because this next one was the journey difficult? And people think because you're doing this full time, it's like, God, because you've achieved a level of success that most people only dream about, doing their passion full time. So this next question, was the journey difficult?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I even get that response a lot. Like, you're so lucky you don't work a 9 to 5. And honestly, there are times where I'm like, I wish I worked a 9 to 5 right now.
You could just clock out.
I wish I could go in, make money, and clock out. I work like a 24/7. So, but in that, it's awesome, and I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But
And the journey's ongoing.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like the greatest thing is like you don't know what each day is gonna hold. Like there's this great unknown, and the other aspect of it is you don't know what's gonna happen. Like there's this great unknown. That's like the bad thing about it too. Is like you don't know what's gonna happen, but you just adjust, right? It's like
I guess like another thought is too, like, I don't have a 401k. I don't have a retirement plan. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but
Kind of trust that it all works out as long as you never settle and keep working hard.
yeah. There's like this statistic of like some of the wealthiest people in the world, like their net worth wasn't even worth a lot until they're like 50 something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't even plan to be anywhere where I want to be until I'm like 25 or to 30 at least.
Playing the long game.
Yeah.
It's important. What is the most interesting thing that you have learned recently?
I don't know why this just came to my mind, but I just got these new. I guess some of these don't have to relate to what I do, right?
No.
But we should. Well, I don't know if it's up yet, but I shot some like body scrub stuff for this one girl.
Okay.
And she's like a good friend of mine, but she gave me some, and oh my gosh, like you shower with them, and they have like essential oils and all natural stuff. But I've learned, interestingly enough, that they are amazing, and I will never go back to like a gross, unnatural body wash again.
There you go.
Like
it's full body.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, full body.
Huh.
Really?
So an Old Spice, sorry.
Huh.
Or whatever you guys use, So.
Yeah.
So what's the product called? Should we give it a
Be
plug?
salty, yeah. If it's available, I'll make
Zach,
sure.
if you don't mind, I'm gonna go use your shower real quick.
I'm gonna be right back. Actually, I haven't showered in a week. Just building up for this. I was hoping this would
Come
get
back
brought
out
up.
with a towel around my neck.
But I seriously, like, I walked out of the shower and I was like,
whoa.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is like really, really good stuff. So,
Would you just feel clean, or like is it like
yeah,
what
but
is it?
it's like natural oils, right?
Okay.
So you can feel like the oils on your body, but first of all, it smells really good, and second of all, like it's not like greasy like face oil where it's like ew, you know, or like head oil or whatever. It's like really, really good oil.
Really?
What'd you call it?
Be salty.
Be salty.
Yeah, I'll make sure she has it up by then because she might get.
Oh, is it your friend's company?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Really? That is
Oh,
cool.
sweet.
Yeah, a little startup, but
In Michigan.
yeah.
Cool.
Excellent. Yeah, once they're up, show them some love. What kind of sacrifices do you have to make to pursue your dreams, and is it hard?
A lot of sacrifices. I've given up, like, I mean, especially like friends and really close people, I've given up a lot to do what I do. And sometimes I think, you know, is it like materialistic to give up relationships and people for, I mean, it's not to, you know, it's not like a camera or a photo or a website or a social media or something. It's like, you know, something, it's creating it and expressing it through, like the way I see it. So that's what I gave it up for. And yeah, it's really, really difficult because especially if you want to do it full time, like there's a reason why it's called full time, you know, like, but yeah, it's really difficult and it will continue to be.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, you know? That's
100%.
That's part of the lifestyle. I love, too, how, like, these aren't categorized. So, like, we have, like, deep questions. And we have these, like, really funny surface questions. Like, your favorite arcade game.
Oh, skateball for sure.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
nice.
Got real sore wrists.
I used to go to Pinball Pete's pretty often.
Pinball.
Where's that at?
It's a Michigan thing, but there's one in East Lansing.
Oh, really?
Oh, what is it? Just like
It's like an
a
arcade.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is there a pinball wizard there?
Yeah. I'm never good at pinball, but
Really?
yeah, they have a bunch of them. Of
Pinball?
course.
I was good at the space pinball, the one that was on, like, every Windows computer from,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
95
yeah.
to 02.
The WR,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
keys.
Yeah, that, because Solitaire just didn't cut
Frogger.
it.
Man,
Yeah.
I miss like those Windows games.
The simplicity of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Minesweeper, which I could never figure
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I
I
hate
don't-
that
yeah.
game. Just click randomly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
like-
I lost again.
Is there actually a strategy to that?
Yeah, there is. Our uncle knows it.
Yeah.
You'll see him like click around and like I have no idea what you're
Yeah.
doing.
No, I would have got blown up a long time ago if it was real. How did you become a part of Eightfold?
So yeah, I'll just treat this like if people skip to the Q&A. Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
but
you-
there's a very in-depth version earlier in the show. But
Yeah. I met the owner at a festival. We became really, really good friends. He was kind of, I mean, Eightfold is like the reason why I was alive, I guess, last year. They're still a big help this year, but I've, you know, gained more relationships since then. But I became a part of them by networking and building a relationship, literally, you know, and it's like, there's probably better photographers out there than me, but I have this relationship with them that, you know, they wouldn't just break it off for someone else, really. Yeah.
Yep.
So
So it comes back to what we were talking about earlier, how, you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know,
Yeah.
right? Like at the time, your photography skills were still developing,
Yeah.
but you had a relationship with this guy and you guys are friends and you took a
Yeah.
risk and like now you have that awesome relationship
Yeah.
and
Paid off.
yeah, for sure.
But at that, I will say too, at that time, no one even knew about them. Like when I, I guess not knowing, but they were big in like the commercial industry where businesses, you know what I mean, would know about them. But now they're much more like trendy and hip and like bigger or like more abstract, I would say.
Okay.
And cooler, you know what I mean? Because it's like the commercial stuff is really cool, but also not appealing to everyone.
Right. Yep. Where do you find your models to work with?
Mainly Instagram for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there an application process?
Instagram's a plug.
Should these, like, if there's some like beautiful future models listening, should they like just send you an email with a application style resume?
Yeah. I actually, it's funny because like, well, I don't know. I won't get into that. It's kind of mean. But
maybe later. Off camera.
Oh man. What is your favorite lens? Camera lens.
my Sigma 24 to 70 2.8 art series.
Monster.
Yeah, it's pretty
I think
sick.
we're using it right now, aren't we?
Yep.
That one.
I used to like shoot only on like 1.4 apertures, and now 2.8 is perfect.
Really?
Yeah. I used to like love like, oh, I can focus on your eyelash, but not your eyebrow.
Yeah.
You know, but I actually like having stuff in focus. You know? Yeah. There's a total of time and place for the lower or at 1.4s, but yeah.
How did you get the idea of something different?
Like I said earlier in the podcast, it kind of originated from my Instagram bio, and it was just like, I don't know. Actually, it was do something different, and then it became something different. But I guess it started from my bio, and from my bio, I wanted to be different in what I do.
There's more on that earlier in the show as well.
Yeah.
So, who are your biggest fashion, I think, inspiration? Is that right?
Yeah. Gosh, it's so bad. I feel like people are going to judge me for like not knowing like big fashion people or whatever, you know, but
it's the truth. That's what they came for.
Yeah, I know. That's true. I didn't even really look at these questions too, so that's good. You're getting the real answers.
Raw.
Uncut.
Yeah. What is my biggest fashion inspiration?
Yeah.
Or did it say people?
Here. Bottom of the page. I don't want to misquote your...
What is your biggest fashion inspo? Man. Actually, Sophia, this girl on Instagram, is like a huge inspiration for my custom like denim stuff. Dude, her stuff is so crazy. But as far as like fashion, more like higher fashion stuff, I don't even know. I don't have like a design. I don't like know a particular designer, but I guess like really low angle wide stuff, like those kind of photos have kind of correlated into the fashion that I like. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, sure. How did you get involved with Electric Family?
I reached out. I sent them a DM like over a year ago, and then it was just like, yeah, like we'll trade for stuff, and now they're really good friends of mine, also a close company I work with.
You created something in Japan for them, didn't you?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like really tight with them, and anytime I travel, we'll basically work on a project together, and yeah,
that's sweet.
But yeah, it started through a DM, so you never know.
Reach out.
Yeah,
to
if
people.
you don't ask, it won't happen.
That's right. Episode 007 of What's Your Skroove. That's how our friend Gina, who's a photographer, kind of landed her gig with Vogue, was through a DM. So don't be afraid to
that's crazy.
get after it, man.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there for the world.
I have to listen to number 007.
You and Gina have to meet. You guys.
We got to get you guys together to do a shoot. Yeah, she's. If you like colors too, she's done some really interesting stuff with body painting. So you have to check her work out. You guys would do some pretty killer shit together.
Dope.
Do you remember the little blonde boys from? No.
What is this about?
Have you heard of Up North Festival?
Oh, I have heard of it. Yeah.
Just the way that was worded.
I know it was like more detailed than the question, I think, but I knew what it would be when I was like, dude, this little hippie girl. She's like super cute. Had these two little like adorable kids, and they're like Dutch blonde hair kids, you know, and they're all like running around barefoot in their overalls. But I won't forget them if you're listening.
He does remember.
That is great. How do you? This is a great question. How do you make money doing what you love?
I think I feel like I should go like kind of in depth to like making money as an artist, like different ways. Because I get that question a lot, or I know like when I was first beginning, I was super curious of it too. So obviously, I have like a few different ways I generate revenue. One, something different, not a lot of revenue, but you know, if you're an artist or a photographer with a decent following, like, you know, people that really care about you, you can put a logo on a shirt. You can do this. Like, people will buy your stuff if they appreciate your brand. That's one way. Obviously, portrait stuff is a way I make money. It's still not the biggest way. I make way more than I did, you know, when I first started, but still not, like, fulfilling. Or not, you know, because especially, like, the market that I am in right now, like, it tends to be, like, a lot of, like, 20 to 30-year-old females, and most of them don't have a lot of money, you know. And I want to give them the photos what they want, and I don't want to steal for it. I don't want to, you know, rip them off or whatever. And it's like
you got a good soul.
Yeah, it's easy and it's fun, you know.
Yeah.
But also brands. like I have 2 contracts a month for brands.
That's cool.
And I didn't have it for a while, and it's still like freelance, but every month I can count on money unless, but it's also like you have to keep doing better and better, otherwise they'll find someone else. So it's a little bit of a pressure, but it keeps you on your toes. But so I make that money through 2 brands each month. I won't go into detail, but yeah, that it takes a little bit to set up because you have to build a relationship, you have to build trust. This brand, it can be, I don't know, a jewelry brand, a clothing brand, a skydiving company, a construction company. Like there's so many different ways, so many different people to reach out to. But yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with that. But another way I make money is through videos. Videos pay really well. If you can get into them, do it. There's a big need for them. And in the way I think about it, especially for me, owning a brand, like I would rather pay someone to make me a video than someone to take my photos, because you can take photos on like an iPhone nowadays. Yeah. I don't know. If you want to have decent marketing, you can do it with an iPhone. Yeah. Like it's what it comes down to.
Which is also good advice for people. Like if you want to start something, you don't need a $5,000 camera. Like my iPhone in my pocket, like the iPhone 10 has a 1.8 f-stop on the rear lens and a 2.0 in the front. Like that's insane. It's in your pocket. So you don't need the best like tech and equipment to do something.
Another way, I still sometimes look on Craigslist. Craigslist can be creepy, but I mean every now and then I'll like hop on and try and find a job. But that's another way where you guys can look to generate revenue. I sell the clothes. Depop is becoming huge. Like you guys heard of that?
What is that?
Depop is like basically the site. I mean, people are like going to thrift stores and finding like either like, because there's a lot of thrift stores. Like if you go to a wealthy part of town where people like have a lot of money, they'll put their, I don't know, Eddie Bauer, whatever. That's like a popular one. You know what I mean? Like vest or whatever, and people will go and buy it, and it's just like a side hustle. As a creative, I have a lot of like side hustles that I need to have. Otherwise, especially now in my career, because I don't have a job every day. I don't, take photos every day.
Right.
Another way is like I just started doing a little bit of graphic design. So I'm like, you guys will probably see in the next month or two some graphic work for artists that I do, and a lot of like the stuff. It was like smaller increments, but it all adds up.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, events. There's so many different.
Just diversify it, right?
Like that was one biggest thing for when I first started was I was like, I can only shoot people and their brands and lifestyle things. But like if you have an event center near you, go find their marketing director, go talk to him and see if you can work for their events, because like organized or established companies and brands are the ones that are going to pay you. If you really want to do it like full time, I believe you're gonna need some sort of commercialized gig.
They have the budget for it. Right?
Yeah. Like
that
that's just how it works.
Freedom to do what you need to do if you have that, that income.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And you say you do once a month for $4,000. You know what I mean?
Can't beat
bingo.
That.
Yeah, and then you have all your tiny ones throughout the months.
Yep. And those tiny ones can really build great relationships, that can take you other places too. It's just I think it's doing as much as you can, and then you just get rewarded for it in more ways than just, financially.
Yeah.
How do you get involved with brands that are not your niche?
I saw that, and it was kind of an intriguing question because me personally, well, I guess I am involved with a few people that aren't necessarily my niche, but I don't know. I would say you don't. If you don't like them, don't work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people out there that you do like that you can work with,
It's okay to say no.
Yeah. Or I don't know, but also I would say sometimes take what you can get, I've done some shitty jobs where I don't want to. They're not necessarily my niche, but I don't know. That's an interesting question. You just got to, I guess, play it by ear and where you're at in your career. if you're trying to work with a bunch of brands that aren't your niche, there's this thing called like spec shoots, and a lot of film production companies will do it. Well, they'll get a bunch of Nike stuff and shoot a Nike ad. It's not actually for Nike. Nike did not pay them. It's a spec shoot. So if you think you can work with this brand that isn't your niche and that you kind of want to, go buy something that's similar to theirs, something that's similar to their brand and their marketing. Shoot it and then show them this is what you can do with their stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Because people are a lot more willing to say yes if you can show them something that is kind of interesting to them, you know? If you have like nothing to offer that's similar, like why would they ever say yes?
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
All right, I had to get up.
That should be good.
Okay.
I had to get up, redo cameras, and we're back. Q&A. A few more questions left for the people.
We're in the home stretch. All right.
How's this mic check? Is it good?
Yeah, you're solid, brother.
All right.
All right. Do you shoot with a lot of real models or just artistic friends?
What do you consider a real model? Like someone that's signed?
Yeah.
Honestly, I prefer shooting with like artistic friends because one, you don't have to go through an agency. Two, there's not really pressure. Three, it's normally I don't have to pay.
Yeah. But it's a win-win because they're getting like killer photos from you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it all comes full circle.
Yeah. That also, okay, I was going to talk about that earlier, but I'll just say it now. Like, I have a lot of people, like, hitting me up, like, do you want to collaborate? And the first thing I always say, just to, like, be clear, a collaboration is when two parties come together and to create one thing together, you know? So if you don't have to offer me anything, I'm gonna charge you. And,
Both
and I'm
parties
not
get
gonna
value.
feel bad. Yeah, like it's like such a cop out for saying like, can I get photos for free? Or even me, like if I were to like hit up a huge model and be like, can we collaborate? You know what I mean? That's like a cop out for me saying, because she's worth more than me in like the industry world, you know? Like, but it's just interesting. So I don't know.
That's a good point. I think that's important that you covered.
There has to be value both ways.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry
you have to be
about
getting
it,
something,
but-
and the company has to be getting something.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed. Did you just start shooting for fun, or did you know it'd be you're in for the your job?
Totally just started shooting for fun. I knew I didn't hate being an electrician, but I knew I did not want to be it, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but this was really fun, so I just started shooting for fun.
Followed your passion.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Who's been the biggest source of help through the journey?
Nicholas Stahersky. I've given him so many shout outs. He's like the owner of Eightfold.
Nick.
But, yeah.
There's always that one person who
Yeah.
save your ass, right?
Yeah. He's been like my mentor, which is why we like became. And also, I would say find someone who is, I wouldn't even say better, more like knowledgeable. Definitely older. Like you can't gain knowledge and wisdom. Sorry, you can't gain wisdom. You can only gain wisdom through age. There we go. You can gain knowledge, sure, but find someone older than you that you look up to and learn from them.
Mentors are great. Great help.
Definitely. And if you're older, be a mentor for someone. They're really important.
Mm-hmm.
Has it all been self-made, or have people opened doors through the years?
Oh, plenty of. I mean, a lot of a lot of hard work from myself, but a lot of opportunities given to me. Definitely.
I think this is a great question to end on. What keeps you motivated when you don't have to work every day?
One would be financial motivation.
Yep.
I wouldn't say that's the biggest, though. I mean, that's definitely a huge one because it's like, okay, if I don't work, I will starve and, be homeless or whatever, to, like, make it exaggerated. But the biggest motivation is I love doing it, and it's, like, motivating to create things that people like. So thank you to, like, the people that follow me and enjoy what I do, because it's really motivating to see responses and positive feedback, that's really motivating. Like you ever done something good and thought, I'm gonna do this again, So
Those are some cool questions.
yeah.
your fans
Yeah,
helping
thanks.
us out.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys finding interest in what I do and in me and my personal brand. So thank you.
That's good.
Much love.
As far as some of the Skroove following, if they have any questions, advice, they're looking for some, maybe you could answer some questions for them or give them some guidance. Just shoot you a DM. Is that a good way to get a hold of you? If somebody maybe listening says, I like your work, I want to hire you for something, what's the best way to get a hold of Zach?
Definitely email me.
Okay.
If you have like a simple question, like sure, DM me. But if you because even like I like used to DM a bunch of or email a bunch of photographers and ask them, like how did you get started, like these questions, and as like a professional, and I guess a professional in any sort, like email me. Like I'd much rather type it out. It's contact@zachhagy.com.
Heard it here first.
And your Instagram for people to follow is what?
At Zach Hagy, ZACH HAGY.
Give this guy a follow, like his photos.
Then you have something different Instagram as
Yeah,
well.
that's at sd.mag.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Check out that website if you're interested in the magazine. You have some available on there to sell some unique fashion pieces, different clothes.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah, big shout out to these guys and what they're doing over there. It's super rad. Give them I'm sure you're following them if you're not, but for the people listening on my page, give them a follow. They're not just a clothing brand. They're all-in-one kind of marketing, networking, artist, creative type thing. It's really rad.
Thank you, man.
Keep up the good work. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and thanks for having me on here. This is awesome.
Of course.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming on.
More to come.
Totally.
Series, so.
Totally.
Yeah,
Excellent.
looking forard to having some adventures with you.
Yeah,
working together, man.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time, and thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Zach. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All episodes of What's Your Skroove are available on iTunes. And if you like the show, be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave a comment. As always, there are free stickers on our website, www.skroovco.com. We'll see you guys next time.